Hello everyone and welcome to Rogers Center for game number 4, the final game in this 4-game set between the Boston Red Sox and the Toronto Blue Jays. My name is Jackson Farough and I'm joined in the broadcast booth today by Drew Frank as the Blue Jays walk out in their powder blues on the first Sunday of the 2020 season, and Chase Anderson makes his first start as the Jays go for the sweep today.
Well, brand new jerseys and a brand new pitcher. Chase Anderson, one of many starting pitchers acquired by the Blue Jays in the offseason, traded for him from Milwaukee, and he will look to channel back what he put up in 2017 when he put up the best year of his career with a sub-3 ERA.
And that really was a career year for Chase, and I'm sure we'll talk about that numerous times on today's broadcast. But yes, Chase Anderson brought over from the Milwaukee Brewers last season and as part of the retooling of this starting rotation, and here he deals for his first pitch with the Blue Jays. A cutter in there for a strike, and this one's underway as Andrew Benintendi takes that first pitch strike. And so the story of this series has been it's all Blue Jays, Drew. You know, they're 3-0 and take the first 3 games, and their pitching has been incredible. They've gotten hitting from a wide variety of players in their lineup, really all ends of their lineup. And for the Red Sox, it's been a struggle in all facets of the game.
Surprising, this Red Sox team just 1 year removed from being the world champions back in 2018. They're trending downward after losing a few key pieces, but the Jays, after falling well below 500 last year, not expected to start this strong.
As Chase Anderson deals, Benintendi hits that one, flies it out to deep right field, but Teoscar Hernandez back in right field makes the play. One away now as we take a look at the Red Sox starting lineup, and pretty top-heavy, but definitely some hitters in the bottom of the lineup. You look at a Kevin Pillar or a Christian Vasquez even, who had nice seasons last year. If that bottom of the lineup can get going for the Red Sox, it could save them some money, which is what they're kind of trying to do this offseason, as one of their youngest hitters, Rafael Devers, one of their best hitters as well, in the box and takes the first pitch ball.
And you'll notice that lineup top to bottom the exact same as they trotted out yesterday. A bit of an offensive spark late in the game, and they'll see if with the same 9 guys in the same 9 spots they can hone that again today.
As Devers fouls that low fastball offering off to the left side past the third base line, and he's hitting .250 on the year now, but a really strong third baseman, so much power in that bat. When he gets a hold of one, he can yank it. And in these AL East ballparks, I mean, what an asset that is to have in your lineup.
A big middle order bat. He can hit around 300 and provide the power you talk about. A very well-rounded batter.
Well, let's see what he's got in this at-bat against Chase Anderson. The 2-1 is hit past the first base side and even up the count at 2. And Devers, you know, one of the top prospects in the Red Sox organization for a while. Part of this influx of youth, as I mentioned, is that high offering is flown up over to the second base side. Kevin Biggio is there to make the play, and he will, as Devers is retired. 2 away now for the Red Sox. And now JD Martinez, designated hitter once again today for the Red Sox. It's interesting, he started in left in game 1, but he's been DHing now for the 3rd straight game. And I assume we'll probably see a lot of that this year to the Red Sox, with JD mainly being a DH.
Especially, he's DH'd most of the last couple of years, and he's not getting any younger. So it's nice to see that they're moving everyone around and sharing that DH role a little bit. But we'll see as the season gets longer and everyone's legs get tireder, you might see him there more often.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one swung on, goes right up the middle. JD Martinez with a single, a 2-out base hit. And that'll get the Red Sox at least on the base paths here. Excellent job by JD there.
Martinez bouncing back from going 0-4 yesterday with a pair of strikeouts. He could not get anything going against Tanner Roark, but off to a quick start today with a base hit in his first plate appearance.
And now we'll see Xander Bogaerts, the shortstop, in now as he takes that inside fastball offering right on the inside part of the plate for a strike. And that curveball offering well outside, a 1-1 count now to the 2019 Silver Slugger Award winner.
And what you just saw with JD Martinez beating Chase Anderson, that soft ground ball didn't really have too much exit velocity and just found a hole. That's what'll beat Chase Anderson when he's on. If he's off, he'll get hit hard, lots of fly balls, but when he's got his stuff going and his splitter is down in the zone, if he's going to get beat, that is how you're going to beat him. Those ground balls that just find holes somewhere.
And Bogaerts going 0-4 yesterday as well, but nonetheless still hitting in the number 4 spot and lots of experience. Again, Bogaerts, one of the more longer tenured Red Sox now when you take a look at this roster. It feels like just yesterday he was being called up as part of the, a different influx of youth back when Mookie Betts and Jackie Bradley Jr. were coming up as well. And Bogaerts will take that 3-1 pitch, and he'll take the walk now, first and second, with 2 outs as the number 3 and 4 hitters both reaching here for the Red Sox.
Chase Anderson induced a couple pieces of soft contact to start the game off. He hasn't given up a hard screaming hit yet, but just couldn't find his spots there against Bogaerts, and all of a sudden there's a runner in scoring position for Mitch Moreland.
And Mitch Moreland, who's been all over the score sheet the last couple days. He's been playing lots of good defense and also couple great hits. He had a home run as well, and he's going to be an important part of this Red Sox team, clearly, as he's hitting in the number 5 hole for them today. And it's a 1-1 count now as Chase Anderson tries to get out of this inning, his first inning of work this season after coming over from the Milwaukee Brewers. Let's see if he can get his third out here. That curveball offering to Moreland is swung right past. That's an excellent pitch there. 1-2. And that cutter is swung on. Moreland strikes out. Chase Anderson gets through the first inning. Surrenders a walk and a hit, but no runs. We remain tied, scoreless here in Toronto. And welcome back as we take a look at the Red Sox starter for today's game, Nathan Eovaldi.
He's bounced around a bit in his career, appearing for his 5th team now on the Red Sox. He's been with them for a handful of years, acquired him back in 2018 from the Rays, worked out of the rotation for the most part, but he's made some big appearances in relief, especially come playoff time. Back starting 2020 in the rotation, and we'll see if he can last the full season there.
Yeah, and signed a big 4-year, $68 million deal with the Red Sox after they won the World Series in 2018 as Bichette grounds that one down the third base line. Devers field throws, and he's called out on the play. A close call, a bang-bang play at first, but excellent defensive effort from Devers retires Bichette here.
A great play by Devers. You talked about how quickly he's improved his game, and his defense has been a big part of that. Defensively, took a huge step up last year, and he had to hustle there because Bichette had speed, so he made a close play at first there, and it was because of Devers' ability to charge the ball and make a quick throw that he got the out.
As Biggio hits that one over to the first base line, but it is foul ball there. A great start to the season for Cavan Biggio as well in the 2-hole. Had a monster day yesterday. And, he's a guy a little older than the rest of this young Blue Jays core. I mean, he's still young, but in his mid-20s now. But nonetheless, how much is his ceiling? Probably lower than the rest of the guys. But you know what? If he's playing the way he is, where he can hit, he can get on base, he can help you drive in some runs and play good defense, that's still a very valuable asset.
Especially in the 2-hole, if he stays there all season with the Jays. Reached base 4 times yesterday and didn't get into any outs. Reached base in all 4 plate appearances, and that's what you want setting up the middle of your order.
Yeah, 3 for 3 with a walk yesterday as he swings on that one, and that was a very odd play as it looked like Vasquez was going to catch it. Nonetheless, goes over to foul territory, but Biggio is thrown out on the play as that one is ruled a strikeout.
Another bang-bang play at first, though.
Absolutely, as Vasquez was unable to keep hold of that one. But yes, another close play as all of a sudden 2 outs now. Nathan Eovaldi with a pretty good start to this game. And as I was mentioning earlier, signs a 4-year, $68 million deal after the Red Sox won their World Series. So he's in the second year of that deal. And he's a guy, he was drafted out of high school and then makes his major league debut pretty early on at the age of 21 with the Dodgers. I mean, so he's just turned 30 and he's already got over 900 innings, major league innings, just in the regular season under his belt.
Well, a big reason for that is because he's got the tools in his repertoire that rushed him up to the big leagues with the Dodgers. He throws tons of heat. He can get his fastball up 98, 99, and for a starting pitcher, you don't see that too often, especially back when he was coming up. Now it's a bit more common, but he can also complement with a great cutter and a breaking ball, which you see right there that's got a lot of movement to it.
And he hasn't necessarily been too dominant in his time in the majors yet. He's never had an ERA and a full season below 3.6. But nonetheless, I mean, this is a pitcher who can give you reliable innings, and the Red Sox need that this year. As that one slapped over to second base, and the play is made by Michael Chavis. Excellent defensive effort there as he jumps up and grabs that one. To keep this game tied, the Jays are hitless as Eovaldi retires the first 3 batters, and we head to the second in Toronto. And now Michael Chavis, the second baseman, hitting number 6 for the Red Sox today, will step into the box. Made an excellent defensive play to end the first inning on a lineout from Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Chase Anderson with 20 pitches in the first had encountered a little bit of trouble after J.D. Martinez was able to get a 2-out single and then Bogarts with a walk, but was able to strike out Moreland to get out of that inning.
The strikeout against Moreland. Very impressive mix of speeds. The last 3 pitches he threw was a fastball at 95, which he followed up with a curveball down in the 70s, which got Moreland way out in front, and then he finished him up with an inside cutter in at 90.
Here's the 1-1. We've seen a number of inside, fast pitches from him early, and he's been able to hit on a couple of them right on the inside part of the plate. Now, with those inside fastball pitches and those cutter pitches, you got to be really careful and make sure you don't miss. That 4-seam in there, kind of in the middle of the plate there, that one looked a little dangerous.
Yeah, now the spot you can afford to live all game long.
And that curveball also right in the middle as Chavis slaps that one over to right, but Teoscar Hernandez is there to make the play. 1 away now.
Touched on it earlier, for Anderson to be successful, he needs the ball down, and a lot of that is going to mean he's relying on his infield defense. You can see there the same 4 infielders the Jays have ran out every game so far in 2020. We mentioned they struggled last year, finishing right around middle of the pack in the American League, and that was including the stats that guys like Freddie Galvis put up with the 2019 Jays, and of course he's not here anymore. Put up great defensive numbers when he was here, but the guys that are left, it's going to fall on them to step up, and so far so good. We've seen some nice double plays turned up the middle, and aside from one Bo Bichette throwing error, not many problems.
And for a young team, especially on the defensive side of things, it's interesting to see that improvement as that one is flown out towards right field, but Biggio's able to make the grab on that one. 2 away now.
Some nice range there from Biggio. He got a good jump on it, and he's a tall enough second baseman that he's got some good reach, and he went up and pulled that one down.
And we talk about defense, and there's some more there, but some defense standing at the plate right now as well. Kevin Pillar hitting number 8 for the Red Sox today, and he's had a really, really tough start to the season, albeit only 3 games in. But I think he went to the Red Sox more for his defensive prowess, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what they were looking for, especially we've touched on it a little bit. Playing right field at Fenway Park is no easy task. So Pilar knows the park a little bit from his time in the AL East with the Jays, as well as just his defensive skills all around make him a valuable asset that the Red Sox pursued pretty late into free agency.
Yeah, and it's clear that he is at least part of the defensive replacement for Mookie Betts, who departed this offseason and went to the Los Angeles Dodgers, of course, in a huge blockbuster trade that also sent David Price out there. A couple prospects, including Alex Verdugo, in return, but he is obviously injured to start this season. So Pilar will remain in right for now, but he probably slots in as a fourth outfielder when this team is fully healthy.
Yeah, likely. And depending what they do with JD Martinez, maybe even a fifth outfielder. If they use the DH rotationally, as they've shown interest in so far this young season, then his at-bats may be severely hindered if he keeps hitting like this.
Full count out of Pilar as he hits that one back up the middle, and it'll get down there for a base hit. Oh, and Grichuk actually misfields that ball, so Pilar's going to try to go to second, and he gets it. Excellent heads-up base running from Kevin Pilar on a mistake in center from Grichuk.
And that's something Pilar's done his whole career. There was a game here in Rogers Center against the Yankees where he stole all three bases after reaching on a walk, and he's always been aggressive on those base paths. He knows that down in the lineup when he reaches base, he can capitalize, and he takes the risk, and it pays off there as he catches Randall Grichuk with that little bobble.
And now Jackie Bradley Jr. hitting number 9 today, playing center as he fouls that cutter off past the third base line, but last game, he had a home run and a couple RBI. But for Chase Anderson, he is not happy giving up that base hit to Pilar, especially considering he was the number 8 hitter, and with 2 out, you want to be able to start an inning fresh with the 9-1-2.
And Anderson made a pretty good pitch there. It was down in the zone. Pilar didn't hit it overly hard. He just hit it in the perfect spot right up the middle and found a hole and got it into the outfield.
As Bradley Jr. fouls off that inside curveball offering. And it's a 1-2 count now. Chase Anderson, once again, one pitch away from getting out of this inning. Let's see if he can do it. There's the offer. There it is. The circle change. We haven't seen that too much. Keeps it low like you wanted. Drew and Bradley Jr. strikes out. We head to the bottom of the second, remaining scoreless here in Toronto. I want to welcome back to Toronto as Vladimir Guerrero Jr. steps up to the plate now, hitting number 4 once again for the Blue Jays today, and at third for he's been in that position all throughout this series, and he's done a pretty good job of it thus far, hitting .375. Last game he had a couple RBI, and he's looked really good both defensively and at the plate so far.
Yeah, so far so good on defense. If you're not noticing him, that means it's an improvement. Last year, some struggles, room for improvement to say the least, and as we've mentioned, thus far in the 4-game sample size, not too much to complain about.
Yeah, and he's, this is a guy who committed this offseason. He's talked about it numerous times. It was actually a pretty big discussion point in Toronto. His weight, his ability to move around the diamond and play solid defense as he drills that one at deep left field. Shows it off. That one looking like it might get out of here, and it does. Vlad Guerrero Jr. with a solo shot, his first of the season, to deep left field, and it's a 1-0 ball game.
Well, Eovaldi struggled with this. We mentioned he has stuff, but when he hangs that fastball and hitters like Vladimir Guerrero Jr. get a chance to swing at it up in the zone, they're not going to miss out. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. not the most established hitter because he hasn't had much of a chance so far, with just in his second season now, but his whole minor league tenure and even before that, everyone knows this guy can hit. Eovaldi, you can see, leaves it up on the inner half for Guerrero. He turns on it quickly and pulls that one all the way into the 200 level.
And scouts talk about Guerrero Jr. being one of the better pure hitters they've seen ever in the minors, and it's quite the compliment, but he shows it off there with a home run. The crowd is loving it. As I mentioned, it's his first home run of the season. I'm sure plenty more to come. And it's a leadoff home run in the second inning here for the Jays, who are now all of a sudden up 1-0, and they've won the first 3. They're looking for the sweep today and a good start to the game for them for that, as Eovaldi drops a curveball just inside the Travis Shaw, who is went 0 for 4 yesterday and doesn't have a hit so far this year, but playing some solid defense at least thus far. And again, this is a guy who he's coming off a tough year, but he offers so much to the Jays in terms of versatility and a veteran presence.
Yeah, we've talked almost extensively about how much Mitch Moreland means to the Red Sox as their first baseman, bats left-handed, has been around the league and has experience. And you know what? Travis Shaw does that for the Jays too. He's their biggest lefty power bat, and he anchors the 5-hole in their lineup, and he can really keep the infield together. He can play first, third, and second, and he can help out with these young infielders that are trying to find their way.
Full count now to Shaw as he takes that high cutter, and he'll take a base. Travis Shaw with a walk here, still none out in the second inning. Eovaldi now allowing a home run and then a walk to the 4 and 5 hitters for the Blue Jays. All of a sudden, Teoscar Hernandez has a shot here to really cause some damage.
And this building's still full of energy after that home run from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. That was an absolute missile, and a fan favorite already in Toronto. When he does that with the bat, you can see this building reacts instantly.
Absolutely, and Hernandez drills that curveball foul. But yes, Guerrero Jr.'s first game was quite the moment, wasn't it? When he hit that double, and of course his father, Vladimir Guerrero Sr., was in the building for that one as well. That was quite the moment. And in Toronto, there's been a lot of great moments for Guerrero Jr., but we'll see how many home runs he can deliver this year and what kind of productivity he can have in his second season now in the bigs. As Hernandez with an 0-2 count now trying to survive here. And that fastball offering from Eovaldi is ball number 1.
Well, and for any fans that were in attendance here last night, you can count +1 on that Guerrero bobblehead home run ticker. That was the giveaway yesterday. He picked up 2 RBIs, but the big home run coming the day later.
Sign of luck, perhaps. As that curveball misses outside, 2-2 count now to Hernandez, who, Hernandez is quite an interesting player. When he gets a hold of one, man, he can hit some bombs. He's got quite the ability to slug. He's got some raw power, but the strikeouts remain an issue for him.
Lots of power, and sometimes he misses, and really you can use that to describe both the batter and the pitcher right now. So it should be an interesting matchup.
You're right about that, Drew. As that 2-2 is hit over to first base. Moreland back to second. Here's the double play. And it pays off as Eovaldi gets to first very quickly. All of a sudden, 2 out now. Excellent job defensively for the Red Sox there.
Teoscar Hernandez also is sneaky quick. He's got some pretty good foot speed, so Eovaldi really didn't have much time to waste getting over the first base, but you touched on how he's been in the league almost a decade now after starting his career early, so he knows by now what he's got to do on that play, and they execute the fundamentals perfectly for the 3-6-1 double play.
Yeah, Moreland starting that off, and of course throwing a short. Xander Bogaerts ain't going to miss those too often. Excellent job turning 2 there for Boston, as Eovaldi now tries to deal already up to 28 pitches, but he'll deal to Randall Grichuk, who is in center today, and made a little bit of a mistake earlier on in the second inning, allowing Kevin Pillar to get an extra base on what should have been a routine single, but nonetheless it didn't really matter as Anderson was able to get out of that inning. As that 99-mile-per-hour fastball gets in there for a strike, it's a 2-1 count now to Grichuk. And that's a cutter right in there. That one looked pretty tasty, didn't it? But Grichuk decides to leave it and even up the count at 2. And that one is swung on, drilled to deep left field. But they'll sail foul. A great swing there from Grichuk.
Can't expect another one right down the middle. It's 2 straight from Eovaldi. He's got to leave the zone here.
Vasquez sets up outside, and the curveball misses outside. Maybe that was right where he wanted it, as Grichuk does a good job of taking there. Now a full count 2 away. Eovaldi trying to get through this inning without allowing he actually already allowed a run, but he strikes out Grichuk there on a high fastball. Sat on that one. Excellent job there, man. He's dialing up the heat early here, but he does allow a home run to Vlad Guerrero Jr. as we head to the third inning. 1-0 Toronto. Welcome back to Toronto. If you're just joining us, you didn't miss too much, but in the second inning, Vlad Guerrero Jr. did hit a home run, a leadoff home run off of Nathan Eovaldi to make this a 1-0 ball game. Chase Anderson now dealing as that cutter inside swung on by Benintendi, but it'll be fielded and thrown to Anderson, who gets to the bag first, one away now.
Well, in that connection on that play there, the 3-1 putout, you can see two former teammates joining together again, both on the Milwaukee Brewers for a couple years, and now they both acquired by the Blue Jays in the offseason are back together. So that 3-1 putout may have been practiced quite a few times by now.
Absolutely, some familiarity there. As Rafael Devers steps back up to the plate, 0 for 1 on the day. As he swings over that curveball, excellent pitch there from Anderson.
And a great spot. Low enough that it's way out of the way that Devers can't reach it, but up in the zone enough that it looks like it might be near the bottom of the knees, but it just drops off.
See if he can continue that now as that cutter drops as well, but Devers sits on that one. A 1-2 count now as Devers tried to get some offense going for Boston here. Now second time through the lineup for Chase Anderson. It only gets harder from here, but it'll be interesting to see how he can deal with this. As that inside offering is swung on, drilled to deep right, and it'll sail foul, but that was pretty close.
That had the distance. He hit one out of the park yesterday, and if he would have done it again here, really would have surged the season.
As that cutter offering right up the middle, but fouled off past the third base line. Remains a 1-2 count. As that circle change is outside.
With the home run yesterday, he bounces back from going 0 for 4 in Game 2. Picked up a couple other hits on the day, 3 for 4 yesterday.
And he swings over that circle change, a strikeout for Chase Anderson, his third on the day. 2 outs now.
And all 3 strikeouts are swinging on off-speed pitches out of the zone. The first one was a cutter that cut away at 90. The other 2 down in the 70s and down below the bottom of the zone. That he's made these hitters expand based on his sequencing and his mixing.
Yeah, excellent job for Chase Anderson early on here, and I agree with you on that one, Drew. Great off-speed pitches. As long as he's locating them, he's got a shot to have a really good outing today. And he's locating a couple fastballs here, one right in the lower inside corner, and now on the outer upper corner of the plate to J.D. Martinez, who all of a sudden is 0-2 here. And he swings over that circle change. Another strikeout for Chase Anderson as he gets through a pretty clean inning. 3 up, 3 down for him, and he's dealing now, and see if he can get in a bit of a groove as we head to the bottom of the third at Rogers Center. And welcome back to Toronto here as the Blue Jays are up 1-0 on the Boston Red Sox. And Brandon Drury, the designated hitter today, will step into the box. And ball one misses, or that first pitch offering misses for ball one there, a fastball. And that four-seamer is swung on and fouled off past the first base line. And Brandon Drury having a very good start to this year. Once again in the DH spot for the Blue Jays, hitting number 8 today.
3 for 4 yesterday with a home run and a double. Came around to score twice. Really a great showing early on. And, I mean, why take him out of the DH spot if he's putting up numbers like this?
As he grounds that one right in front of the catcher, Vasquez makes the play. And the leadoff hitter is retired for the Blue Jays.
And on the same note, coming up here, Danny Jansen, we've seen him start all 4 games now behind the plate. Reese McGuire yet to get into a game. It was expected that they would be a pretty evenly split tandem. McGuire seems to have lost his job, at least to start the season, just as a result of what Danny Jansen's done so far.
Yeah, and Jansen providing a lot of great hitting, some power as well from the bottom of the lineup. And I think one area that hasn't been talked about enough with Danny Jansen is his ability to adjust to a brand new pitching staff in a lot of ways. You know, a lot of new arms in the rotation as well as in the bullpen, and he's been managing them very effectively, at least early on in this season, something that a young catcher could definitely struggle with.
Especially all sorts of different types of pitchers. Shoemaker, who lives off his splitter, whereas the big curveball coming in from a guy like Chase Anderson we're seeing today, and Ryu that kind of cuts different types of fastballs and uses his slider and changeup a bit more. So he's seeing different types of pitchers with different pasts, and even guys coming from the National League who he hasn't even seen much in his own games, but done a great job so far.
And that four-seam in there to even up the count at 2. Fastball working for Eovaldi. He's getting a decent amount of swings on that. Be interested to see if he can command it a bit better and continue to, keep this Jays lineup at bay. Up to 43 pitches now. 2-2 count. Eovaldi deals that inside fastball, misses. A full count now as Bo Bichette, the leadoff hitter for the Blue Jays today, is on deck.
Well, another thing Jansen's done is really set the table for the top of the order.
As he swings on that one over to deep left field, Benintendi looking like he has a read on it, gets underneath it, and makes the play. 2 out now.
So aside from the one blemish of the home run to Guerrero, the only other mess he's gotten himself in was with the walk with Shaw, which he immediately turned into a double play. So he's retired all but one batter he's faced so far. So despite the scoreboards showing that he's trailing so far, 45 pitches in here to the third inning, he's having a pretty solid start from what we've seen thus far.
And that cutter gets in there. Bichette checks his swing, but it's a strike nonetheless. Yes, I agree with you there, Drew. Eovaldi, the journeyman, having a good start to this game. Be interesting to see how long he lasts as Bichette drills that one to deep left center. Benintendi looking at it, and he'll make the play as he tracks that one down for the third out. A 1-2-3 inning there for Nathan Eovaldi and the Red Sox. We head to the fourth. 1-0 Blue Jays here in Toronto. And welcome back to the Rogers Center as Xander Bogaerts steps up to the plate. He walked in the first inning, and Chase Anderson will now head out and throw his 50th pitch and much more in this inning as he tries to get, once again, another scoreless inning. But he's looked great so far in this contest.
Sure has. A lot of it been his pitches used to complement each other. A bit of a traditional starting pitcher in the sense that he's got a 5-pitch repertoire and nothing is going to absolutely wow you. It's not like Eovaldi where he's got that 98, 99 mile an hour fastball that you can see him using to transition into the pen later on, especially like he's shown in playoffs. Anderson just works based off of his whole complete approach.
Yeah, working with the off-speed low, but also being able to dial up a fastballs. That cutter in the middle of the play, I think that's been one issue for Anderson early here. He's been leaving a decent amount of cutters and fastballs, a little too much on the middle part of the plate. That could definitely catch up to him as this game goes on, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see as he deals the 2-2 pitch to Bogaerts. And he swings and misses on that one. Another strikeout for Anderson, his 5th on the day.
Really looking good. That's 3 batters in a row he struck out. He got Devers and Martinez to end the inning, both on swinging strikeouts where they were off-speed pitches low in the zone. He changes things up with Bogaerts by bringing the heat up in the zone on a cut fastball breaking away from him, and he gets the swing and miss.
And now he'll go for strikeout number 4 perhaps in a row as Mitch Moreland steps up to the plate and fouls off a first pitch offering there. It's 0-1 now.
Well, he already got Moreland in the first inning. It was a pitch where Moreland went down to try and extend the zone. So he's ahead of him early. We'll see what Moreland's going to do here to battle back.
And the 0-1 offering is a cutter right up the middle, and that one's hit over the left field. Gurriel unable to catch that one in the air as that one will get down for a base hit.
Nice stroke by Moreland to beat the shift. Hits that one over the head of the shortstop, and even though Gurriel was right there, it just drops in front of him. And a good effort by Gurriel to try and get there and reach that before it drops in, but Moreland on base now, 1 on, 1 out.
Yeah, great hitting display there from Moreland after the strikeout in the first. He comes back and delivers with a 1-out single as Michael Chavis hitting number 6, who flew out to right field in the second. Tries to get some offense going here for the Red Sox as oh my goodness, that bat is in the crowd. Wow, that bat got absolutely tossed as Chavis unable to hold on to it there. All of a sudden, it's an 0-2 count. That curveball ground over to third. Guerrero to second and back to first. Makes the play. It's a double play to end this inning. A 5-4-3 double play, and all of a sudden, we're going to the bottom of the fourth. Look at these young Blue Jays defenders. Yeah, welcome back to Toronto. If you were just grabbing a drink or walking the dog or something, perhaps you missed that last inning of play, but Blue Jays doing a great job defensively as the Red Sox were looking like they may have something going with one out and a runner on, but Guerrero and Biggio lining up for some good defense for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, they turned around that ground ball. It was hit softly, so Guerrero had to make a quick play, but he threw an accurate throw to Biggio, who was able to flip it, and a great way to get out of the inning. As you mentioned, it looked like there might have been something mounting there for Boston.
But now Chase Anderson looking very good through 4 innings in his first start with the Blue Jays, and Nathan Eovaldi in his first start of the season looking, we talked about last inning, Drew, looking pretty good so far. He surrendered a home run to Vlad Guerrero Jr., to lead off the second inning, but after that, and even before that, he's looked pretty calm and collected.
Yeah, he started the game by getting this top of the order 1-2-3, which always is the best way you can start any game. But the big thing was he bounced back quickly after that home run. Thought maybe he might have been showing signs with the 4-pitch walk, but the double play really got things back on track.
And he strikes out the leadoff hitter here in the 4th inning as Kevin Biggio swings on that high fastball.
And 2 strikeouts swinging for Biggio and 2 at-bats. A guy known for his discipline, but he's having trouble against Eovaldi because coming up through the minor leagues, you see all sorts of different types of pitchers, but not many with the raw skills that Eovaldi has.
Yeah, it's very evident there with that very elite fastball, I might say. It's electric. It's got some gas to it as he can hit the upper 90s with ease. And, in a long career like that, I guess that's one of the reasons he's been able to stick around, is that one is flown out to shallow right field. Pilar makes the play. 2 out now here in the bottom of the 4th as Gurriel flies out.
And now it'll bring up Vladimir Guerrero Jr. We saw him turn around an inside fastball in his last at-bat. Eovaldi's been attacking almost every hitter early with that fastball up in the zone, so we'll see if he shies away from Guerrero now or does the same.
Four-seam offering. He's challenging him early in this at-bat, a 99 right up the middle. Guerrero thought about it, but decided to hold off there. And that inside four-seam offering is fouled off. So we're seeing Eovaldi go right at Guerrero here, and it's working, an 0-2 count now.
Easily jumping ahead of him. Now he can go almost anywhere he wants to ahead 0-2.
Here's the pitch. And that four-seam up in the zone. Guerrero Jr. does not swing at it. He's called out on strikes. And Nathan Eovaldi with a very good 4th inning here as we head now to the 5th. It remains 1-0 in Toronto. And welcome back to Toronto. It remains a 1-0 ball game off of Vlad Guerrero Jr. home run in the 2nd inning. But we are now in the 5th inning as Christian Vasquez steps up to the plate, catching today once again for the 4th straight day for the Red Sox to open this season. Chase Anderson up to 59 pitches in his first outing for the Blue Jays, but he's looked really good so far, hasn't he, Drew?
He sure has. We've said it a bunch of times, but it's worth repeating. It's been his mixing of pitches. Starts things off here with a fastball, and now, based on what he's done so far, you can probably expect something on the inner half of play because he keeps jumping all around the strike zone with all these different pitches.
And if we get into the bullpen discussion with the Blue Jays, I mean, it's very interesting because Shin Yamaguchi goes, 2+ yesterday. Ken Giles comes in, and he made his 3rd straight appearance yesterday. Justin Miller with some work, although he came in and didn't have a great outing As you try to save this bullpen, if you're Charlie Montoyo, you need someone like Chase Anderson to, if he can, deliver a quality start for you. As that one's hit out to deep right center. Grichuk giving chase. He'll get under it and make the play.
Interesting with what Charlie Montoyo's done is the 4 guys that we haven't seen yet, Gavilio, Font, Pannone, and Romano, are all 4 guys that he had in his bullpen last year. So it seems as if he's pitching Yamaguchi twice, and he's getting Baz in there, and he's getting Miller in there because he wants to see what he's got. We saw him do the same thing last year. He pitched Daniel Hudson early and often. Same thing with Javi Guerra when he was on the team. It seems like it's Montoyo's style here to see what he's got in his bullpen by challenging those arms early and often.
Yeah, I think it's a really good point you make there, Drew, about wanting to kind of see what he has, see what he needs perhaps as well. Like when you do that, when you bring in the new arms off, and you also know, okay, what do I not have as a manager, right? And then that gives you, a better picture of how you want to manage a game in terms of the pitching side of things. But listen, Chase Anderson is managing the game pretty well on the mound right now, so I don't think that's Charlie Montoyo's biggest concern, but it's certainly a story to follow as this game goes on.
Well, and you got to get the guys in the bottom of the order to pitch deep into the game. And he's done that well so far with 2 soft flyouts to center field. And quickly now, you talked about his pitch count coming into the inning. He's close to getting out of it without giving up too much.
Bradley Jr. beats the shift there as he sprays that one over to deep left field. It's a double off the wall. Bradley Jr. cruises into second for a 2-out double here.
Well, that shows you just about how much one pitch can change a game, and a 1-0 game especially. But talking about how Chase Anderson seemed to be cruising and how he'd retired the last 3 batters and struck out a couple, induced a double play. All of a sudden, the tying run's just 2 bases away in scoring position, and you've got one of the best hitters in the Boston Red Sox organization up at the plate here with Andrew Benintendi.
As he takes a first pitch fastball a little high above the zone there, ball number 1. But yes, what a great piece of hitting, though. How about from Jackie Bradley Jr.? Excellent job being able to spray the ball right off the tip of the bat, beats the shift, and ends up with a double as a reward. As Benintendi drills that one over to shortstop, Bichette makes the play, and he catches that one right out of the air for the 3rd out. So Chase Anderson once again getting through the 5th inning. It remains a 1-0 ball game in Toronto. Bottom of the 5th inning here in Toronto as Travis Shaw, the first baseman, steps up to the plate. He walked in the 2nd inning, and he'll try to kickstart this Jays offense in the 5th. It remains a 1-0 ball game as Nathan Eovaldi deals his 57th pitch of the game. It's a cutter inside, ball 1.
And Travis Shaw sitting on a milestone watch here, 99 career home runs combined with the Brewers and the Red Sox. Quite a moment if he were to be able to pick up his 100th before this series ends against his former team.
That's right. Of course, Travis Shaw, formerly of the Boston Red Sox, and then he, as well as the Milwaukee Brewers, and again coming over for versatility as we talked about earlier in this game, hitting number 5 today. But he's got a nice hitter's count here as that curveball drops in there for a strike.
Boston drafted him way back in 2011 in the 9th round, and he spent a handful of years with the organization before he eventually left them in free agency in 2017.
Yeah, back-to-back 30 home run seasons before a bit of a quieter year last year. We'll see what he can deliver this year for the Blue Jays in his first year back in the AL East. Is there an adjustment period there, do you think? Maybe, starting in the AL East, then going to the National League, and then coming back?
I think to some extent, he's facing guys like Nathan Eovaldi, who's been in both leagues, and he spent a lot of the time, we mentioned, on a couple teams, so that helps the transition. But yeah, he's filling the same type of role with both teams, so for the most part, you think it's just about playing his game and focusing on his approach.
As he tries to stay alive in a full count here, as he fouls that cutter off. Oh, no, that's going to stay in play. What a piece of hitting from Travis Shaw there. He'll round first, and he'll get into second. What a piece of hitting there from Travis Shaw for a leadoff double.
Well, we've seen a couple hits beat the shift. Jackie Bradley Jr. beat the shift for a double last inning, and now Shaw's beaten the shift for a double this inning, and that's going to put a runner in scoring position, none out, and, well, you might think bringing up the 6, 7, 8, 9 hitters might not be too big of a threat. Those have been some of the Jays' hottest hitters so far this series, so it'll be Teoscar Hernandez now with a chance to make some noise here.
Yeah, and a great opportunity once again for the bottom of this lineup for Toronto. We'll see if they can tack on to their 1-0 lead here. And a great start to this 5th inning. All of a sudden, a leadoff double gives you a runner in scoring position and 3 outs to play with. We'll see what Teoscar can do here. Is that fastball offering to the outside, and Nathan Eovaldi now really needing to make his best pitches and focus on his command of that fastball. That's going to be vital here as he tries to navigate through this inning. 2-0 count now. Hitters count for Hernandez.
Well, and just a quick note, correction, Travis Shaw did not leave in free agency. He was actually traded to the Brewers, and the only player left in either organization from that trade is Tyler Thornburg.
There you go. Speaking of trades, Chase Anderson also came over to Toronto in a trade. And, of course, that prospect, Chad Spanberger, not exactly the biggest prospect to give up, but nonetheless a nice addition for the Blue Jays. But focusing at the plate here, Teoscar Hernandez now in a 3-1 count, trying to add to this Blue Jays lead as that one is swung on, but it'll be fouled off there as that cutter gets into the upper part of the plate.
Eovaldi himself came to the Red Sox as part of a trade, traded 1-for-1 for Jalen Beeks with the Tampa Bay Rays.
And that 4-seam misses inside, and Teoscar Hernandez gets a walk here. Still none out, and now runners at first and second for Nathan Eovaldi, who's up to 70 pitches. And now he'll try to see what he can do against Randall Grichuk, who's 0-for-1 on the day, but he's had a good start to the year, as we've been talking about.
He froze Grichuk for a strikeout looking back in Grichuk's first plate appearance, but after seeing all sorts of fastballs, he figured Grichuk probably has a better idea of what's coming for him this at-bat.
And in a very small sample size, Grichuk is hitting .500 with runners in scoring position, albeit, as I just said, a very small amount of at-bats to look at based on that. But nonetheless, I mean, numbers don't lie. Grichuk now in a 1-1 count as he tries to add to this Blue Jays lead and create some offense for them here against Nathan Eovaldi, who's run into a little bit of trouble. And that splitter just misses outside. It's a 2-1 count now.
You can see Eovaldi changing his approach a little bit now, the second time through the order, and now with runners on, trying to paint a splitter and a curveball on respective sides of the zone. We saw them mostly down below the knees in the first time through the order.
And that curveball just gets in the upper right-hand corner, right inside there on the plate, and evens up the count at 2. Excellent pitching there. Excellent command from Eovaldi on his curveball.
That is a tough spot to hit, trying to anticipate your break to the exact pinpoint to pick the corner, but he nails it perfectly.
2-2 count. Let's see if he can get through this, and he does. Grichuk swings and misses on that low splitter offering for Eovaldi's 5th strikeout on the day. 1 out now.
A huge strikeout there. Now all of a sudden, a ground ball gets them out of the inning with the double play in order, and it'll be up to, and a pitching change, so clearly not too long of a leash for Nathan Eovaldi.
Yeah, as Martin Perez enters the game, his 3rd appearance this season, and in 4 innings of work, he's got a strikeout, 1 strikeout, 1 walk, but the big thing is the high ERA. He hasn't been able to really find his groove yet this season out of the bullpen. We'll see if he can do it here now, having to clean up a bit of a mess in the 5th inning.
Well, and it's worth noting, in Game 2, Perez pitched in relief as well, pitched a couple innings, but he actually, in that game, managed to get Brandon Drury to ground into a double play.
We'll see if he can do it again here. Could really use that right now, as he deals the 1-0 rather. That cutter right up the middle, foul it off past the first base line. And yeah, I mean, listen, the Jays have been able to hit a lot off of Perez in this series so far. And in this kind of situation, it's a golden opportunity for number 8 hitter Brandon Drury to tack on some more offense.
Well, clearly Ron Renicky saw something in Eovaldi, but a rather quick hook that I wasn't anticipating. I thought Eovaldi would have a chance to work his way out of this mess, but instead it'll be Perez's job.
especially with the way he was going. I mean, he had looked pretty good. Had some clean innings prior to this one, but Ron Ronicky playing it safe here, I suppose, by trying to go to his bullpen. And we'll see how it pays off for him. Drury in a 3-1 count now. As he swings on that cutter, but he'll foul it off. It's a full count.
Even just mentioning how good Eovaldi looked against Grichuk in that at-bat, where he spotted the curveball and then threw a nice splitter to get him out, but that'll end his day.
Yeah, his pitch count wasn't too high either, but hey, at the end of the day, we're not making decisions. As that fastball is drilled over to right field, but Pilar is there to make the play, and the runners will not be able to tag on that one.
A nice spot there by Perez. He challenges him with the fastball up in the hands, where he really has to almost be anticipating that pitch to get around on it early to make contact. And when you're in protect mode with 2 strikes on you and just trying to put the ball in play, most hitters aren't waiting for that pitch.
As Danny Jansen steps in, he's 0 for 1 on the day as he flew out in the 3rd inning, but he'll be trying to get something going now with 2 outs at 1st and 2nd. I mean, an opportunity here with a runner in scoring position, but Martin Perez trying to keep the Blue Jays without scoring a run here, as they've been able to get a couple runners on. A 2-seam paints the inside part of the plate there to even up the count at 1. Here's the 1-1 offering from Perez, the lefty, to Jansen, the righty. That cutter just misses the outside part of the plate. It's Jansen taking there. 2-1 count. Perez deals similar spot, but that cutter once again missing. The umpire not giving him that here.
2 very big pitches that swing the at-bat completely. Now Jansen's way ahead, 3-1 in the count.
See what he can do here with this one as he drills that one, and it's fair past the 3rd base line. It'll go down into the corner. Oh my goodness, as Shaw around second, he'll come home. And Jansen slides into second. It's a 2-0 ball game.
An early season hero, Danny Jansen, delivers again with an extra base hit. He has been clutch in production out of the 9-hole. You just don't see it like the Jays have gotten it so far. Jansen, really an early season MVP.
Absolutely, especially in that 9-hole as he dives in there to second. The fans are loving it here in attendance at the Rogers Center. He tacks on an RBI as Shaw comes home. And Hernandez to 3rd. And all of a sudden now, got ourselves quite the ball game here as Bo Bichette tries to tack on some more offense to that with 2nd and 3rd. One opportunity for him as he's 0 for 2 on the day.
And struggling so far out of the gate.
Takes that strike inside now. It's a 1-1 count.
Bichette not doing much offensively, but now with 2 runners in scoring position and 2 outs, he's got a big chance to change that quickly.
Here's the pitch. The 1-1 swung on there, but fouled off past the 3rd base line. And Bichette, he's taking some big digs. He's making some contact, just struggling, but a great opportunity here against Martin Perez, who's trying to get out of this inning. A 1-2 count now, and he swings and misses on that circle change. The off-speed gets him there, but not before Danny Jansen can hit a 2-out double right down the line into the corner for an RBI. Blue Jays tack on a run here. It's 2-0 Toronto. And welcome back to Toronto. If you just missed it, the Blue Jays were able to tack on an additional run in the 5th inning off of Martin Perez and Nathan Eovaldi, I guess I should say, as Jansen was able to get a double. Danny Jansen, that is. As Rafael Devers now flies out to 2nd base. 1 away as Chase Anderson continues to deal here in the 6th inning.
Well, Anderson's dealing, but Eovaldi looked pretty good as well. He's charged with both runs after giving up the double to Shaw as he came around to score, but he only gave up those 2 hits all game, the double to Shaw and the home run to Guerrero. He walked 2 as well and struck out 2 in his 4 1/3.
So a bit of a mixed bag for Nathan Eovaldi in his first start of the season, but he's a bit of a seasoned vet, as we've mentioned on this broadcast, and in just his first start of the season, he's still a very important depth piece for the Red Sox. I mean, his contract says so, but so does his longevity in this league. Just wasn't able to fully command his fastball today, and the Blue Jays hitters were able at points to kind of eat him up a little bit. But Chase Anderson now in a 1-2 count to JD Martinez, who's trying to generate some offense for the Red Sox as that circle change misses low.
And a final note on Eovaldi. I originally said 2 strikeouts. He actually struck out 4, but it was the 2 walks that went along with them that showed the pros and the cons of his volatile fastball.
As Martinez grounds over to Shaw at first there, and Shaw head to the bag and make the play. 2 away now for Chase Anderson.
Next will be Bogaerts, who was fooled quite nicely by Anderson in his second at-bat. They had a battle in the first where Bogaerts came out on top with the walk. Anderson prevailed in the next at-bat with a strikeout, and now we'll see who wins the rubber match here.
As that one's hit over to Guerrero at third, he'll make the routine play as Chase Anderson with a very quick inning, 3 up, 3 down through the 2-3-4 hitters as Kevin Biggio, Gurriel Jr., and Guerrero Jr. will come up next for the Blue Jays in Toronto. And welcome back to the Rogers Center as Martin Perez will toe the rubber for his now second inning of work. And it's 2-0 Blue Jays off of a Danny Jansen RBI double earlier in the 5th inning and a Guerrero Jr. home run in the 2nd. But now we're in the 6th inning and Kevin Biggio 0 for 2 on the day. The leadoff hitter in this inning, trying to generate some offense. As it's still just a 2-0 ball game. I mean, this is still anyone's game, and the Red Sox really want to avoid a sweep.
Yeah, they've had a difficult offseason, getting pushback from fans and questionable reactions to their decisions to trade Mookie Betts and certain other decisions. So starting the season 0-4 against a team predicted to be a division bottom dweller is definitely not how they'd hoped this weekend would go.
I can't imagine those hardcore Boston sports fans will be very happy with the Red Sox if they go 0-4 to start the year. I mean, this team doesn't have quite as high expectations, but, you know, in Boston, it's win or bust. So that's kind of been the standard there. As Kevin Biggio's called it on strikes, doesn't like that third strike call. That was a fastball, you know, up in the upper part of the plate, but it's called out on strikes.
Looks like that one caught the zone. At the very least, it's a pitch that you've got to try and foul off or spoil. Biggio likes to work deep into counts, but you're playing with fire there if you let that one go by with 2 strikes.
An excellent command there from Martin Perez on that one. As Lourdes Gurriel Jr. steps to the plate now, 1 out. And 0 for 2 on the day with a flyout and a lineout, but still hitting number 3. And Gurriel Jr., one of the players on this Red Sox team, or this Blue Jays team, as he grounds over to short. Bogaerts makes the play and out to first. But Gurriel Jr., you know, one of these young hitters who the Jays don't entirely know what they have yet with him, and he's not the only guy in this lineup who's, you know, that's the case with. But be interesting to see how his season fares down, you know, as he tries to battle against some AL East pitchers who now know him.
And quickly, here's a look at the Guerrero home run. You can see he skies this, and he just strolled out of the batter's box. As soon as it was off his bat, he knew. Just absolutely crushed.
He sure did.
But back to your point about Gurriel, he had a bit of a chance last season to prove what he had and showed flashes of greatness before he got hurt.
And Guerrero Jr. flies out to left field now, and this time it stays in the park. As Benintendi makes the play, and now we'll head over to the bottom of the 6th inning. 5, 6, 7 hitters up for the Red Sox as they try to come back in this one. Welcome back to Toronto. Top of the 7th inning. We are flying through this ball game. It's been both pitchers working pretty quickly here, or all the pitchers, I should say, working at a pretty good speed. As Mitch Moreland had a single in the 4th, he'll step up, leading off the 7th as Chase Anderson remains in the game for the Blue Jays.
Another deep start from a Toronto Blue Jays pitcher. That's another quality start for this staff that you mentioned the Jays don't necessarily know what they have from a lot of their hitters, but the pitchers as well. Anderson and Roark and even guys like Ryu and especially Shoemaker because of injuries and various shortened seasons that they've had over the past couple years, there's a lot of unknown. But so far, things have looked good almost across the board here for Toronto.
Yeah, Anderson really getting into a groove here. And he's only up to 77 pitches in the 7th inning, so he's got a chance to really go deep in this ball game as that circle change slides in there to get a strike. Now it's a 2-1 count out of Moreland.
Earlier, we saw Moreland shorten up and take a ball opposite field against the shift. See if he can do something like that there to start things going here now in the 7th inning.
As Moreland fouls off that low circle change, but it's a 2-2 count. Anderson going for the punch out here. Oh, that was a good pitch, but Moreland takes that one. Excellent plate discipline there.
A great take as that one just fell off the table at the end there with the late break on the changeup. Very disciplined eye.
Full count, Anderson deals. That fastball misses up high. Moreland will take his base, a leadoff walk for the Red Sox.
Well, and that'll start some movement in the pen for the Blue Jays. You mentioned Anderson's look good, but this game is still just 2-0. Only a 2-run game. Talked earlier about how the Red Sox will not settle for going 0-4 to start the season, and this game is far from over. They've still got lots of outs here to play with, and now with the tying run already at the plate with just one runner on, this game is going to come to a very exciting finish.
As that 4-seam offering to Michael Chavis, the number 6 hitter, just misses there. And yeah, this bottom of the lineup for the Red Sox really going to be tested in this 7th inning as they try to, they've got an opportunity with a runner on with none out. Let's see what they can do with it. As that one's hit off of Anderson over to third, Guerrero goes to second, and there will be no play there as Moreland gets in there safe. All of a sudden, first and second, Anderson taking that pitch. It doesn't look great now.
Looks like that was off of his stride foot. So manager's going to come out, trainer's going to come out. He's talking with Danny Jansen, telling them he's okay, and it looks like he'll stay in this game. Not sure how much he's got left in the tank, regardless of the potential injury, but a ball off the foot doesn't help with anything.
No, that can't feel good, especially after 80-plus pitches in this one as Christian Vasquez 0 for 2. Now a runner in scoring position for him, first and second, none out. What an opportunity for the Red Sox here, down 2-0. Oh, and that curveball misses Jansen. He gets away from him, and now the runners will advance to second and third. And Moreland is called out on the tag. What a play from Danny Jansen there, being able to get Moreland out at third.
And that changes the whole dynamic of the inning.
As Vasquez singles that one over to right field, and it's a shame Moreland hadn't just stayed at his base on that one, but nonetheless, Vasquez with the base hit first and third now.
Yeah, you said it perfectly. And now imagine if the Red Sox didn't have that thrown out runner at third base, they'd be cooking here. There'd still be none out, but now instead, a ground ball potentially could end the inning without Red Sox cashing in a single run.
Yeah, just poor, base running there as Moreland thought the ball had gotten away from Danny Jansen. I think a little more than it actually did. Also, Jansen did a great job of getting up, locating the ball, and firing a strike to Vladdy at third as Pilar drills that one into shallow left field. It'll get down, and that'll be an RBI. Vasquez to second. It's a 2-1 ball game.
Gurriel, a very alert play there. Vasquez couldn't go to second because he had to make sure it dropped over Bichette's head, and Gurriel with a strong arm throws out the catcher who doesn't have a ton of speed and gets a force out at second. So 2 outs on the base paths here. Not necessarily Vasquez's fault because he had to read where the ball was dropping, but nonetheless a very alert play by Gurriel.
Oh, excellent job there. I didn't even see that. That was such a close play. But yes, Vasquez out on that one. Gurriel making a very heads-up defensive play. As Charlie Montoya will now relieve Chase Anderson of his duties after that one. It's a 2-1 ball game.
A great start from Anderson. You can hear the crowd giving him an ovation as he walks off, and it'll be the lefty reliever Thomas Pannone here. He's worked for the Jays for a couple years, out of the rotation, out of the pen. He can kind of do it all, and now Montoya is going to turn the ball over to him to try and face a couple lefties here in Jackie Bradley Jr. and Andrew Benintendi.
Yeah, probably a good time to yank Chase Anderson. Listen, he still had a good start, but did run into some issues now in the 7th inning. But I think one issue also in this inning is for the Red Sox, they're base running. I mean, they've had now 2 runners out on the base pass, and in a game like this where they haven't had a lot of offense, they finally get an opportunity, and they've kind of spoiled it here.
Yeah, it's hard to fault Vasquez completely in the sense that he did have a tough read, and Gurriel has a strong arm, but also that ball wasn't hit too hard, and it seemed like it had been going over Bo Bichette's head right off the bat, so very difficult to come away from this inning if the Red Sox don't prevail and cash in Pilar from first base now and say that it was anyone's fault but their own.
And a 1-1 count now to Jackie Bradley Jr. as he grounds that one over to the third base side. Guerrero fields it, throws. What a defensive play from Guerrero as he helps Pannone and the Blue Jays get out of this 7th inning. It remains just a 2-1 ball game now as we stretch at the Rogers Center. And now Ryan Brasher will enter the game out of the bullpen for the Red Sox. And we've seen him a couple times in this series, mainly in 1-inning scenarios, but a righty who can at least give you a 7th inning of duty, hopefully. As he'll, if you're a Red Sox fan, you want that, as their bullpen has had some question marks this season, but Brasher will face the 5, 6, 7 hitters for the Blue Jays as he tries to keep this just a 1-run ball game.
We saw him in the Jays home opener giving up that home run to Danny Jansen that ended up being the game winner late in the 8th inning. But he's back here in another late inning situation. We've said before, we'll say it again, this game is not over. If he can keep this to a 1-run game going into the 8th and 9th innings, then the Red Sox will still have quite a fighting chance.
Yeah, and Travis Shaw drills that one right to Devers at third. 1 out now. As Teoscar Hernandez steps up to the plate, and Ryan Brasher tries to... Now he's got a righty at the plate, probably a bit of a more comfortable situation for him as Travis Shaw lines out to third. That slider misses inside, 1-0 count now. And for Hernandez, 0 for 1 on the day with a walk. Ground into a double play earlier in the second. And he hits that four-seam foul. Let's see what Hernandez can create here against Brasher as that slider misses well outside. It's a 2-1 count now. And 1 away is... And a 2-1 count as Hernandez tries to create some offense for the Blue Jays. Again, just a 1-run ball game. The bullpen going to be very vital for the Red Sox here.
Well, now down to 2 strikes against them. Teoscar Hernandez struck out many times already this season. And a great take there as he stays alive. But we'll see him battle here with 2 strikes. He's fallen victim to the strikeout numerous times already.
And that sure was a close pitch right there in the inside part of the plate. A full count. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss there on that changeup. Brasher gets Hernandez swinging.
Well, when we saw Brasher come in the first game of the season, he struck out back-to-back batters, both swinging to start things off, and then he fell victim to Jansen's home run. So we know he's got swing and miss stuff, and that's kind of the book on him, and he displays it there to get Teoscar Hernandez and go ahead quickly with 2 outs.
Yeah, good job for Brasher thus far in the inning, facing the 5, 6, 7 hitters for the Blue Jays. And now this 7-hitter, Grichuk, step up to the plate, 0 for 2 on the day, and he takes a first pitch strike.
Grichuk already 2 strikeouts. First one looking, second one swinging, and now he's 1 strike away from the hat trick.
Yeah, and a hat trick up here in Canada, known more in hockey terms. Perhaps it'll transfer over to baseball here as that four-seam just misses outside. Brasher looking pretty locked in here in the 7th. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Grichuk. He fouls off that high fastball. The count remains 1-2.
Grichuk yet to be on time for a fastball. Late on all the ones he's swung at so far. We'll see if Brazier goes at him again.
Here's the pitch. Oh, and he hits him with the changeup instead. Grichuk was expecting a fastball, a little quick on that. He strikes out swinging. 2 strikeouts for Brazier in the 7th. Remains a 2-1 ball game in Toronto. Andrew Benintendi 0 for 3 on the day. He'll step into the box here in the top of the 8th inning, trying to get the tying run for the Red Sox. And, in the prior inning, Drew, in the 7th, really a spoiled chance for the Red Sox to generate a lot more offense. Now, they got 1 run, but they probably should have had a couple more.
Well, they started things off with 2 on and none out, and after running into the caught stealing with Moreland thrown out on what looked to be almost a wild pitch, things went downhill quickly from there.
As we see Ken Giles and Anthony Bass warming in the pen for the Blue Jays as Benintendi swings and misses on that 0-1 curveball offering from Pannone. It's an 0-2 count now. He delivers, and that inside fastball is swung and missed upon as Benintendi strikes out.
Well, it's worth noting, since Pannone got Bradley to end the inning, he doesn't fall applicable to the 3-batter minimum since he finished off that 7th inning. So after getting back-to-back lefties in Bradley and Benintendi, if Montoyo wants to, he can go to one of his 2 righties now to face the middle heart of the order. But he'll leave Pannone in, try and go after Devers for the 3rd straight lefty in the Red Sox lineup.
Yeah, Pannone with a good opportunity, as you mentioned, Drew, to... he's facing a couple left-handed hitters, a little more of comfort, although he, some pretty good left-handed hitters, and he's able to get Benintendi on a strikeout. Let's see what he can do against Devers, the number 2 hitter. 0 for 3 on the day. Fastball misses outside. It's a hitter's count. Here's the offering to Devers. Swings on that one over to the third base side. Guerrero makes the play on that line out.
Well, and he was in foul territory when he caught that because how heavily they were shifted. He was all the way over on the line playing no doubles defense, and he actually snagged what would have just been a foul ball.
And now with the lefties, at least at the top of the lineup and the bottom retired, Thomas Pannone will exit, and Anthony Bass will enter the game, his 2nd appearance this season for the Blue Jays.
We saw Bass once so far where he faced 2 batters and managed to get them both out on showing off his strikeout ability. So now he'll get more of a chance with J.D. Martinez. A big assignment here.
And that slider right in there for a strike. Bit of a risky pitch, but it gets in there. And Martinez 1 for 3 on the day. Had a single in the 1st. In terms of the bullpen management, it's interesting. We saw Ken Giles warming, but now Anthony Bass comes into this game fresh. And with the Blue Jays just needing 4 more outs in this game, do we see Giles in this contest?
We've seen Giles in each of the first 3 games. So you'd like to imagine that if they can rest Giles, they'll take the opportunity to. But just as a 1-run game, unless Bass gives up a run or the Jays add on to it, you'd think he's probably set to come in.
As Martinez fouls off that 0-2 offering, that was that low outside pitch. Bass got a great count here and a real chance to get out of this inning clean. Oh, and that fastball misses high and inside to J.D. Martinez, the number 3 hitter for the Red Sox. Yep, some head shaking for sure in the Red Sox dugout at the moment. And that one is a strikeout there. J.D. Martinez not liking that check swing call, but they're saying he went. Anthony Bass gets the strikeout. And now we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. It remains a 2-1 ball game for the Blue Jays. And welcome back to Rogers Center as Heath Hembry will step in now in the 8th inning for the Red Sox out of the bullpen. Trying to keep this just a 1-run ball game. And Brandon Drury steps in. He is 0 for 2 on the day with a fly out and a ground out, but he'll try to lead off this inning and maybe tack on some insurance for the Blue Jays.
Hembree pitched in each of the first 2 games of this series, both times entering the game when the Red Sox were already trailing, as he does here. He pitched 2 clean innings, giving up just 1 hit and striking out 3.
Yeah, now he'll have the 8-9 one-hitters for the Blue Jays as he tries to, keep this game close. And that's exactly what the Red Sox need, as they are going to have to face off against some type of save situation for the Blue Jays. As that one's hit to center field, and Bradley Jr. gets under it and makes the play. 1 away now.
Well, Danny Jansen coming back up again after the double down the line in his last at-bat. He drove in a run there and ended up left stranded on second base, but he cashed in what might hold up to be the game-winning run. It's the run that separates the team so far.
And he'll take a first-pitch fastball strike. As again, some more movement in the Red Sox bullpen. Darwinson Hernandez and Matt Barnes, who have been up plenty in this series, get warm. And, Jansen, we talked about earlier him being able to manage a lot of different new pitchers in this Blue Jays team, but he was able to manage Chase Anderson pretty effectively today, wasn't he?
Yeah, Chase Anderson worked well into the 7th inning, pitching 6 2/3, gave up just 5 hits and 2 walks over those 6+ innings. He gave up the 1 run, but struck out 5.
As Danny Jansen strikes out there on a Heath Hembree pitch, and now there'll be 2 away.
A great pitch by Hembree. He hung the last curveball up in the middle of the zone, and Jansen wasn't able to do any damage with it, but not a great spot. He comes back here, a great spot with the pitch away from Jansen, and gets the 2nd out.
As Bichette drives that low offering over to right field, but Pilar is under it to make the play. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for the Blue Jays. Now it's closing time in Toronto as we head to the 9th. 4, 5, 6 hitters coming up next as the Red Sox try to avoid the sweep in Toronto. Welcome back. 9th inning here in Toronto. Anthony Bass will continue as he came in the 8th inning to get the final out on JD Martinez. And now he'll continue just 5 pitches here, but he'll try to go for the save. Bogart's 0 for 2 on the day with a walk in the 1st, and Red Sox trying to avoid a 4-game sweep to start the season. Not ideal for them. And the Blue Jays, on the other hand, trying to complete the sweep, and what a start to the season it would be for them.
And regardless how this game or inning ends up going, Charlie Montoyo is prepared with a pair of righties in his pen. If Bogarts or someone does some damage, Gavilio's up to wrap it up. Otherwise, Ken Giles is ready if runners get on base and the big closer's needed for a closer save situation.
As Bogarts flies out there and Bichette able to track it and make the play. 1 out now. As Mitch Moreland 1 for 2 on the day. He's had a pretty good series. Let's see how he wraps things up here, trying to get on or get some sort of run scoring for the Red Sox. A fastball in there for strike 1. And yes, as you mentioned, Drew, Montoyo still getting his arms warm, which is a really good call, and that bullpen seems to be working pretty well at the moment. We'll see how this plays out. Anthony Bass misses with a changeup there. And in the Powder Blues, the Blue Jays have played a pretty good game, mainly a pitching duel, but when they had to, they were able to drive in some runs. A Vlad Guerrero home run, and then in the later on, of course, in the 5th inning, they were able to do some damage as well. And it's been a close series, but one that the Blue Jays have been able to not quite dominate, but listen, they've been ahead in every category, and they're just 2 outs away from sweeping this, which would be quite the statement against one of their AL East rivals. Let's see if they can do it here. 3-1 count now.
Every game in this series has been very close. There's a reason that Ken Giles has had to be in or at least warm up for all 4 games. They've all come right down to the wire, and although it may end up being a 4-0 sweep or even a 3-1 sweep win, it's not that dominating.
As Moreland strikes out there, swings and misses on that one and that high offering.
And Bass sets down Moreland, two former teammates, both on the 2015 Texas Rangers teams. Bass now just 1 out away from his first save as a Toronto Blue Jay.
Chavis grounds that one over to first. Oh, and Shaw just grabs it right out of midair, and this game is over. The Toronto Blue Jays complete the 4-game sweep over the Boston Red Sox here at home. What a start to the season for Toronto.
You talk about a statement. We mentioned this team was just 1 year removed from winning the World Series. Obviously, lots of changes, but the infrastructure they've got, the veterans that are still around from that team, this young Jays team, if they're looking for building blocks and things they can point to as strides of improvement, this series is definitely one of them.
Yeah, it's some great pitching in this game, whether it was Chase Anderson, who had a good outing, Bass with the save, and even Thomas Pannone coming in to get out some lefties in the 9-1-2 spot for the Jays. It's been a great series. Chase Anderson is our player of the game. 6 2/3 innings pitched, 6 hits, 5 strikeouts, and just 1 earned run. And, for the Blue Jays in this one, they did a really good job, some good defense as well. And from the Red Sox perspective, a lot of spoiled opportunities in this one as well.
I think the reason that Chase Anderson is on your screen right now of player of the game speaks for itself. His pitching was dominant, and really anytime you can get 6 2/3 of 1-run ball, that is phenomenal, especially in the opening game, or your first game with a new team. Anderson picks up his first win as a Jay, Bass picks up his first save as a Jay, and this Jays team is set to roll with Cincinnati coming to town starting tomorrow.
Yes, of course, and with the arrival of Cincinnati arrives a very good Canadian baseball player. Joey Votto will be playing up here in his hometown of Toronto. So be sure to tune in on the Virtual Jays Network for that. We will have full coverage of that 3-game series starting tomorrow at 7 p.m. Desclafani versus Thornton, 2 former Blue Jays prospects, in fact, as Desclafani spent some time in the Blue Jays organization. But for Jackson Farough, Andrew Frank, we thank you for joining us today on the first Sunday in the opening series of 2020. The Blue Jays sweep the Red Sox and start out their season 4-0. We'll see if they can continue this hot streak in the next series against the Cincinnati Reds. Thank you for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time.